Could one prompt train your agents all week? I want to talk to the person running the team meeting, answering the agent questions, checking the numbers, reviewing the listings, and still trying to produce. Because this is where AI can actually be useful. Your agents already know they should follow up. They know they should call the seller. They know they should restart the buyer conversation. The hard part is usually the 5 minutes before the call when they are staring at the phone thinking, what do I actually say here? That is the gap. And if you can fix that gap, your whole team gets better. Before we get into it, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment with the client conversation your agents struggle with most: seller pricing, buyer hesitation, inspection issues, follow-up, lowball offers, whatever it is. I want to know what is actually showing up in your business, because that is how we decide what to build next. Here is the idea. 15 minutes with ChatGPT can become a full week of agent training when you feed it one real scenario, real facts, and your standard for how the conversation should feel. I am talking about taking an actual client situation from your team and turning it into 4 things: an opening text, a call plan, objection practice, and a role play exercise. That gives your agent something useful to practice before the real conversation happens. Think about the situations your agents are already dealing with. A seller has been on the market for 60 or 70 days and no offer. A buyer has gone quiet because rates moved. A client sees 3 scary headlines before breakfast and suddenly wants to pause. Your agent has market data. Your agent has comps. Your agent may even understand the right advice. Then they get on the phone and the words come out messy. That is normal. Knowing the market and explaining the market to a stressed client are 2 different skills. In the March training we did, the feedback was very clear. Agents wanted practical language. What is working? What should I say to the seller? What should I say to the buyer? How do I prepare before the conversation? That is the kind of work AI is good at when the prompt is built correctly. Your experience becomes a repeatable prompt. Your expectations become a training tool. Your agents get more reps during the week, and you are no longer rebuilding the same coaching conversation from scratch every time someone gets stuck. The first prompt I would build is a seller conversation prompt. Pick one real listing. Give ChatGPT the listing price, days on market, showing activity, buyer feedback, competing listings, recent comps, and what the seller has already said they care about. Then ask for 6 outputs. 1, a 2-sentence summary of what the seller is probably feeling. 2, the 3 strongest data points. 3, a short text to open the conversation. 4, a 5-minute call outline. 5, a simple explanation of the pricing issue. 6, the 3 objections most likely to come up. That is a training kit. Here is the prompt language I would use. Act as a real estate team owner, helping an agent prepare for a seller conversation. Ask me one question at a time until you understand the listing, the seller's concerns, the market data, and the likely objection. Then give me a calm, respectful call plan that helps the seller make a clear decision. That phrase, ask me one question at a time, matters. It forces better input. It slows the agent down. It makes the agent think before asking AI for an answer. The emotional summary matters too. A lot of pricing conversations go sideways because the agent starts with math. Sellers are dealing with pride, timing, equity, plans, family pressure, and what they thought the house was worth. The agent has to earn the price conversation. So I want the prompt to train the conversation in this order: empathy, data, options. Start by showing the seller you understand the pressure, then show the market. Then walk through the decision in front of them. Here is a version you can give your team this week. You are helping me prepare for a seller who has been listed for 68 days with no offers. Ask me one question at a time, then create a 5-minute call plan that opens with empathy, uses 3 data points, explains the current pricing issue, and ends with 2 clear options. That is specific enough to be useful. It gives the agent structure. It gives them words. It also keeps them from hiding behind a long market update that the seller will never read. The second prompt is for the buyer who has gone quiet. Give ChatGPT the buyer type, price range, neighborhoods, last conversation, main concern, lender context if you have it, and the current market point you want to explain. Then ask for a 2-sentence emotional summary, 3 useful facts, a short text to restart the conversation, a follow-up message if they respond, a simple explanation of the cost of waiting, and a call outline. A buyer who goes quiet usually has a reason. Rates, job uncertainty, too many headlines, too many choices, a spouse who is nervous, a lender conversation that made the payment feel different. Your agent needs to understand the hesitation before they send another just checking in text. Have ChatGPT help identify what the buyer may be carrying, then turn that into a better opening. Something simple, something human, something that gives the buyer an easy way to re-engage. The structure I want agents practicing is simple. Name the concern, give 1 or 2 clean facts, make the next step easy. That works for buyers, it works for sellers, it works for follow-up. Most clients want to know whether the agent can help them make a good decision. The agent's job is to make the decision easier to understand. That is where AI can help with language and sequencing. The third prompt, it is the role play prompt. This is where the training gets really useful. After ChatGPT gives you the call plan, ask it to play the client. For a seller, you could say, act as a skeptical seller who does not want to adjust price. Push back in a realistic way. After each answer, grade the agent on clarity, empathy, and whether they made the next step easy. Now, your agents can practice the hard part before the client is on the phone. For buyers, use the same structure. Act as a buyer who has gone quiet because of interest rates, job uncertainty, and market noise. Ask realistic questions. Push back if my answer sounds too salesy. After the role play, tell me where I lost trust and give me a better version. That is a valuable rep. The agent gets feedback, they get a better version, then they try again. 10 minutes of that beats another speech about why follow-up matters. Here is how I would run this for the team. Every Monday, choose one real client scenario. A stale listing, a quiet buyer, a pricing call, a follow-up problem. Spend 15 minutes creating the prompt and reviewing the output. Then give everyone 3 pieces: the opening text, the call outline, and the role play assignment. That becomes the skill of the week. Tuesday, they practice. Wednesday, they use it. Friday, you review what happened. Simple, practical, repeatable. The input decides the quality. If your prompt says, write a price reduction script, the answer will probably feel average. Give it the real situation, the property, the feedback, the seller concern, the comps, the days on market, the buyer's hesitation, the tone you expect, calm, direct, respectful, professional. Then tell it the output you want: a text, call plan, role play, follow-up, coaching note. Make the ask specific, and the result gets much more usable. You also need a verification step. AI can help organize the conversation. Your team owns the facts. Check the comps, check the market data, check payment examples with the lender, check anything that affects advice. I do not want agents copying, pasting, and sending without thinking. That creates risk. The tool should improve preparation. The operator still sets the standard. One line from our internal thinking sums this up well. The human builds trust, and AI supports the prep. The human listens. The human asks better questions. The human reads the emotion in the room. AI helps with structure, drafts, objections, role play, and follow-up options. Used well, it gives agents more confidence because they have already practiced the conversation before the client ever picks up the phone. This is also where the real edge network matters for people building teams. A prompt library is useful. Shared operating experience is more useful. The people in the Real Edge network are working through the same problems, helping agents have better client conversations, creating leverage, making training repeatable, improving follow-up, and building a business where every issue does not land back on one person. Real Brokerage gives you a cleaner platform to build on. Real Edge Network gives you practical conversations with people who understand the pressure. So here's your action step. Take one client conversation your agents are struggling with this week. Open ChatGPT. Build one prompt around that exact scenario. Ask for the text, the call plan, the objections, and the role play. Use it in your next team meeting. 15 minutes, one scenario, 1 week of better training. If this was useful, like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment with the client conversation you want me to build a prompt around next. Seller pricing, quiet buyers, open house follow-up, expired listings, inspection issues, anything you are seeing right now. I'll use the comments to shape the next video.